Homegrown alligator, see you later. Gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road. Something changed in the atmosphere. Welcome back to the Next Play Podcast. I'm your host, Alec White, and we're here with my co-host, Nate Schaefer. Little better dressed edition showing out this week. How you doing, Nate?
What's up, Spice? Pleasure to be here today on this lovely, well-dressed evening. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to get started.
Excited to have you, sir. Oh yeah, I know these are the topics we're gonna be talking about this week. And let's jump right into opening day for NHL.
Who's your favorite hockey team?
Well, I was just born in NorCal, so I'm a San Jose Sharks raised. I have not followed them very closely until like 2 years, or was it last year or the year before? Year before, when they were just like suddenly in the running for Stanley Cup. I think they were in the Stanley Cup and they lost to the St. Louis Blues, which was exciting. And so I got like a Shark. My dad got me a Sharks shirt because he was working in NorCal, and I was a born again Sharks fan. And so I'm following them this year. They're not looking too hot this year. They dropped off the last 2 years. But I like hockey. I've always said, like, I've never really been disappointed watching a hockey game. It's pretty fun. Just even when you don't really know what's going on, just seeing these guys. Well, one, I just have so much respect for hockey as a sport, because I feel like of the sports I know, it's probably the hardest to get good at, because it's like, it's more than just, like basketball is, the dribbling and stuff is hard to pick up, and, similar with soccer. But like, you could be good at like hitting a hockey puck and suck at hockey because you can't skate to save your life, or vice versa. You could skate really well and whatever. I don't know. I feel like there's just so many more moving parts, and then plus guys just laying each other out. Like, it's so physical. I have a lot of respect for hockey, and live hockey games have always been electric. I've been to a handful of those over the years.
That's what I was going to say, is like hockey on TV has never captivated me. Between not being able to see what's going on, like visually, it's just difficult for me to track the puck, mostly because I don't know how the game flows, but like I just can't see who's shooting and where the puck's going. Between that and just not knowing the rules and many of the players, and never being super invested in my home team Capitals, I've never gotten excited about hockey on TV. But the handful of games I've been to live have been very fun to be in the arena for. It's quite the atmosphere when the lights and the sirens go off and the shot go in and everyone's just throwing whatever's in their hands. It's pretty great.
No, it's electric. I love it. And sorry, also like just seeing the puck out there, that's another part of what I meant by like how hard it is to get good at. Like, I saw it today. I was playing, I already forgot the guy's name, but a guy on Pittsburgh had the goalie was like trying to clear it, and the guy like took it out of the air and like did like a behind the back shot for a goal, and it was like a super like cheeky, I don't know, and I couldn't even see it the whole time, and he just like plucked it, and I don't know, it's just crazy. Hockey's crazy.
One article that I can remember having read about hockey was like, it was like a profile on like a hockey team dentist, an NHL team dentist, and like all the absurd stories that this guy has of like bringing a hockey player back in the back room like during a game when he just got cracked by something, and like stitching his face together, and the hockey player's like get off me, like I want nothing to do with this, like not like being a but just like being totally like above the pain and injury of being crushed in the face by a fast moving object. It's like almost dismissive of the severity of the situation.
Yeah, they're just,
and like, yeah, his face is like dented, like literally dented, and the guy's like, yeah, I was like gluing his teeth together or something, and like he's like pushing me away trying to get back out on the ice. It's like hockey players are just, they're just different, I guess.
They're so different. Yeah.
I don't know any of them well. I've never paid any attention to the pros, but my limited experience has been quite telling.
So the biggest news in the NBA is the Harden trade that went through today, Wednesday, January 13th. the Blockbuster trade that sent, let me pull up exactly what, because I don't want to be misinformed on the thing I literally just said I was going to be informed on. 3-team trade with the Nets, the Pacers, and the Cavaliers. Sorry,
Rockets.
4-team trade. Sorry, yeah, Rockets. I forgot the main player involved. And so the Rockets sent James Harden to the Brooklyn Nets for 3 of Brooklyn's first round picks, Milwaukee first they got, and then 4 of Brooklyn's first round pick swaps.
Yeah. Which they're not going to use, but
right. In addition to, I don't know how to make all the lines cross.
Rockets gave away Harden, and they
got Oladipo,
4 first-round picks and Oladipo.
Yeah,
and some role players.
2 role players, yeah. Exum and this guy, I don't even Rodion's Kuruks
and
Dante Exum.
Yeah, and then the Cavs gave away a pick swap or a first-round pick. They gave away a first-round pick for Jared Allen.
Yes, and Taurean Prince.
Pacers gave away Oladipo, and they got LeVert.
And a second
round. The Nets
rounder.
gave away picks, and they gave away players, and they gave away LeVert, and they got
and Allen. Yeah, they got James Harden.
Mythic Harden.
So yeah, I elaborate on that comment right there. You're not a huge fan of the Nets this trade, then?
Yeah, well, initial reaction, the most important thing is Harden. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it. If you've listened to a previous episode, you know that if I were in the shoes of an NBA GM, I would be very hesitant to go and trade, a big piece of my rotation for Harden because, yes, he's a generational talent, like probably one of the 5 most talented players in the NBA. And there's a lot of teams out there, especially this year, that are very competitive, but not quite compelling finals contenders. And so when you're looking at the teams that are trying to trade for him, the Sixers, the Heat, the Celtics were thrown around, and the Nets to some extent were all very competitive teams, but there's reasons to argue that they're not compelling finals candidates necessarily. They're definitely not favorites. They're not the Lakers. They're not the Bucks. They're not the Clippers. And so when you're one of those teams, trading for Harden can definitely get you over the hump. Like, it definitely raises your ceiling to the point where, wow, like our team can definitely go win the finals if things go our way. But I was very cognizant of the possibility of the trading for Harden, giving away a lot of important pieces like a LeVert, like a Jared Allen, would not only compromise the existing chemistry, but bringing in James Harden would also further compromise it by introducing a rather toxic element to your team. I'm not a big believer in James Harden as a team basketball player. And so with all the things he can do for you one-on-one, he's going to make your offense really good on a nightly basis. But I mean, it just scares me because it's a team sport at the end of the day. And I think the teams that have the best chance to win are the teams that are the best teams, not the teams that have the best players.
Yeah. Yes. And we had this debate last week of, chemistry versus talent alone. You just purely one-on-one. And obviously there's, a mixture of both that have to go in because there's very tight-knit teams that don't excel. And there's very, individual. I mean, the amount of teams LeBron has single-handedly backpacked to an NBA finals that is just completely switched up year to year. And the only real overlap is LeBron,
In terms of like actual reactions to this trade today, like in the moment, I would say as hesitant as I have been about trading for LeBron, or not trading for Harden, as hesitant I've been about trading for Harden, I really think that the Rockets got fleeced and that the Nets, I mean, they didn't get a great deal. The Nets gave away a lot, but when you look at what the Rockets got, they gave away James Harden. I mean, they could have gotten a lot of really good, talented players. I think if they held on to LeVert, I would have a different tune here. But their haul, as it stands now, is Oladipo, who's in a contract year. I'll get to that, but they also got 3 or 4 first-round picks, none of which are likely to be lottery picks
No, it's
unless the
20,
Nets
22.
like implode.
Yeah, 22, 24, and 26 are the three first
Yeah,
round.
I mean, so it's the NBA. Anything can happen in the
Right.
next 3-4 weeks, days, months, years, whatever you want to say. I'm not going to try and predict the future that far down the road. But assuming the Nets don't implode in a major fashion, none of the picks that Houston got are going to be lottery picks. They're all going to be like very late round, first round draft picks. Not likely to be guys that will change your franchise. So they got 4 of those picks. Great, but not astounding. And they got Oladipo, who we've seen do a lot of really good things, but we haven't seen so much of that recently. And he's in a contract year. And so this year, the Rockets are going to have to decide, do I pay Oladipo? Like, has he shown me that he's worth a max contract? Because he's probably going to be able to get that depending on the market for him. He's probably going to be able to get that. So the Rockets are saying, either I pay him or I let him walk. And it would suck to pay a guy that's, not worth it. You only got to test him out for 1 year. It would suck to trade away James Harden and let the biggest asset you got in return walk
Right.
6-8 months later this summer. So it feels like a lose-lose for the Rockets right now. And there's not much that can happen that could change that, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, I mean, you could argue the same thing for Harden, which is why, because I know the Blazers were another team that were in the conversation for that. I think one of the things that took us off that was how good CJ's playing, and how like tight Dame and CJ are, and we've pretty much signed both of them to max long deals, and we're basically set that those are our 2 guys, which I wasn't super stoked about, but now that CJ's been playing better, I'm actually super hyped about now. But that was the hesitation with, with all these teams trading that many assets for Harden. The threat was equally there on their end. He gets there. Kyrie's still, causing drama, which they can't even find him right now. Jared keeps joking. Like, they're in the middle of the season. They don't know where one of their best players is. And so if there's that, plus, everyone loves Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant is very clearly the Nets' number 1 priority. And so they're going to do what they can to keep him instead of Harden. And so likely the same scenario happens where Harden decides that doesn't really want to be, one of 3, he wants to be one of, maybe 2 or I don't know. And so I think the Nets, I don't know. I think you're exactly right. I think the Nets got what they wanted. It may or may not work out, but in the end, they really didn't lose that many valuable assets to them. Is where I was going with that.
I kind of disagree. I think losing Karis LeVert and Jarrett Allen is a lot. For this reason, when you think about the star power that they had in KD and Kyrie, they were not lacking a possession by possession, ball dominant, super talented guy. They had more than enough. So, I mean, that's the main thing that James Harden brings to the table. And so, like, you could argue, all right, there's KD and Kyrie like sitting, more rotation, more minutes. Like, we need a guy to score when those 2 aren't in full gear. Karis LeVert could do that with the best of them. I'm not going to claim that Karis LeVert is on par with James Harden as a scorer, but Karis LeVert was more than capable of being the 3rd option on an NBA team. Like, he's a very, very good bucket getter.
Absolutely.
And so I don't feel like they really gain a lot by switching LeVert for Harden. And then you take out Jarrett Allen. He's probably the only guy that can spell the word defense on that team besides Kevin Durant. Like,
that's very, yeah.
So
yeah, Harden isn't.
I feel like their offense didn't go crazy. Like, normally adding James Harden to a roster would make your offense like go from like a C+ to like an A.
Right.
At the turn of a dime. But this time, I don't feel like that's the case. Like, they already had so much of what Harden does that I don't think he's bringing a lot of new flavors to the table for them. And when you look at what they gave away far and away their best defender, like far and away their best rebounder. And they gave away a guy that's going to do more or less what Harden's going to do. And they gave away a bunch of picks, we've seen Brooklyn do this before. I mean,
Yeah.
going and getting Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and all the other geriatrics and getting together and losing in the first round. Like, it's the best thing they could ever do. And so I'm not blown away. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, those three players together, it's finals or bust. Like,
Right.
that's what it is for them right now.
Right.
They
And I think
went
that's what
all
they
in.
acknowledge. Yeah, exactly.
But if I have to bet either or, I'm betting bust. Because I just think they're hollow. Like, they're going to have some nasty games. They're going to scare a lot of people, but I'll believe it when I see it. At the end of the day, my biggest takeaway for the Nets is they're going to be even more fun to watch, and they're going to be even more fun to watch lose. Yeah, like, that's just what it is for me. Like, in the Nets, I'm going to tune in and I'm going to watch it burn.
That's very fair. Let's say, I mean, there was some pressure, from the Rockets. Harden was literally not practicing with them, and I don't know. They were I guess there's a lot of worries there of their best player not playing, and so so I know what you feel about that part. So I guess of this trade, who do you think won then? Because I thought it was super casual. They, announced James Harden's been traded, and they announced all the picks and whatnot, and then they just casually dropped that Victor Oladipo was moved to Houston. And I was like, whoa, like what? Like that, it was like the third or fourth tweet that Woj and Shams came out with. And I was like, hold on, like this is way more of a big deal than a couple picks.
Yeah. There's not a lot of players in the NBA that could get moved, and that news would sweep a Victor Oladipo trade under the rug. Like,
right.
That's a big deal. That's a blockbuster day in the NBA world in terms of like tangible roster manipulation and movement. In terms of biggest winners, where I think you were going with this.
Yes, that is where I was.
I would say the biggest winner in terms of like scale and roster improvement is still the Nets, because I just think the Nets, like, they went all in. Like,
right.
Out of all the four teams, I feel like that's still the best team that's got the best chance to win the finals. And they definitely moved the needle in the right direction. Like, they sort of bought into their identity. They punted. We're not going to play defense. Like, let's just score 187 points every game.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think the Nets are the biggest winner, but the trade definitely worked best for either the Cavs or the Pacers. I think the Cavs gave away next to nothing for what will become their franchise center. I don't think they're going to commit to Andre Drummond. I think Jared Allen, who's my age and very good. Like, he's had stellar games against Rudy Gobert and Joel Embiid this year, like where they're going nose to nose.
Absolutely.
And this is a skinny little kid by NBA terms. So I think the Cavs got a very good player who's going to be a big part of their success moving forward for next to nothing. So huge win for the Cavs. And I think the Pacers definitely improved their team without sacrificing anything. Like, it was a very clear upgrade from Oladipo to LeVert, because I think LeVert's just going to do what Oladipo used to do.
Right, for less price. They don't have to worry about a max contract looming. I get it.
Oladipo's on an expiring contract, and LeVert's on one of the best contracts in the NBA in terms of talent relative to paycheck.
Right.
And so I think it's a great ad for the Pacers. I'm very excited to see them be even more than just competitive. I'm excited to see them make some finals contenders sweat, if not get eliminated in the playoffs this year. Like a Pacers Nets series with Karis LeVert going nuts, and Brogdon and Sabonis and a bunch of like very what's the word I'm looking for? Very like disciplined basketball going up against the superstar flashy Nets.
Yeah.
If I see the Pacers beat the Nets this summer, I don't anticipate that. I wouldn't guess that until I see the Pacers really mesh, or I see the Nets really explode. But if that were to happen, like, everything I believe about basketball would be validated for the 100th time, and I'd feel great about myself.
No, I love the Pacers team they've got. I love Sabonis. He's one of like my favorite young players right now. I like LeVert. I mean, he almost kept the Blazers from the playoffs in the bubble last year. It took Damian Lillard dropping 60 points And even then, you know, LeVert had the game-winning shot that he just barely missed. Like, he's a bucket. He's been good. I mean, that's how the Nets were able to even get to the point where they could acquire Kyrie and KD, because they had Dinwiddie and LeVert and Jared Allen, all these young players that are up and coming, but, you know, aren't quite there. And so them plus KD and Kyrie was, you know, a step up. You know, they made the playoffs just by adding Kyrie essentially. And so now with Kyrie and KD, they were seen as one of the top teams in the East. And now they've added hard to that, as you know, we've just said multiple times. You know, yes, they're very intimidating. But yeah, all those young players, LeVert's really good. Malcolm Brogdon, you know, shout out R-Dog, UVA product. I forgot you're a UVA fan too, but Malcolm Brogdon's been
Wahoo, baby. Rookie of the year. Joel Embiid can cry about it, but he's rookie of the year.
Exactly.
I loved rooting for him on the Bucks. Love rooting for him on the Pistons. Malcolm Brogdon, baby.
Pacers.
That's my piece. Sixers, Pacers. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I'm well dressed.
The NCAA tournament is going to be held entirely in Indiana this year. And so I guess there's not too much to say about it, because we just said, like, I think that's a great idea. You know, the bubble's obviously the best way, the most effective thing that has worked. It obviously takes away a bit of the spectacle of, you know, the fans going crazy at the buzzer beaters and all the madness happening. It says the only quote I was able to see is a limited number of family members will be permitted to watch games. But other details about fans remain undetermined. So there might be fans there actually, which I think would complicate the COVIDness of it. But I think that's the best way to do it. And they have to, because, you know, the NCAA gets some really I never know the exact stat, I'll find it, but they get like a large percentage of their revenue from the NCAA tournament and March Madness every year. And so it's a lot. And so last year it was a huge, like, that's how we knew how serious COVID was when they canceled that, because it's like, whoa, like they would not
cut themselves off at the knees with that one. Like,
yeah.
The biggest thing that I'm intrigued by with the bubble, thinking back to the NBA bubble, I was really interested in how all the players would interact with each other in ways that wouldn't ordinarily happen. Like, it's almost as if it's one big AAU tournament with all the best basketball players in the world, in the sense that you're staying in a lot of the same hotels, you're eating in a lot of the same places, you're spending your free time at the same pools, doing the same dumb stuff, like running into each other 8 times a day. And then you turn around and play like some of the most televised basketball games in the most competitive environment in the world. Like, I find that really interesting, just because it's a similar dynamic to what I've been on a far greater scale. It's like, wow, like, you know, LeBron James just like runs into Jason Tatum, like, you know, like,
yeah. Well, no, don't you remember Jamal Murray?
You want to dream up?
Yeah, no. Remember Jamal Murray posted, he's like, this is the worst part of the bubble. He's like, we have to run into this guy, and he zooms in on Donovan Mitchell right after he drops 50 points on us.
Yes, like that. I think that's incredible. And so, considering how that sort of dynamic would transfer over to a college format is also interesting. It would definitely be different, because college teams are much more college teams, instead of, you know, professional teams being a collection of professionals. Like, those are professionals, and college teams are a bunch of friends at the end of the day. Like,
yeah.
And so you're going to see a lot of like teams moving together and like running into each other. And I don't know, like, I'm not going to speculate on what absurd stuff's going to happen, especially since I haven't been in touch with college basketball at all this year. But, like, you know, Coach K and the Blue Devils running to Calipari, I don't know, like, it could be interesting. So I'm excited to see whatever social media stuff surfaces from those types of interactions.
I think it'll be super exciting, and I'm just excited to fill out a bracket again this year. Little disappointed that I also won't be filling out one for us, as I did last year.
Filled out a D3 bracket?
Oh yeah, my friend and I think 2 of my friends, we all filled out D3 brackets, and we were just messing around. And if they didn't have us winning, I gave them a lot of crap, which they all did. Or they would like joke about it, and I was like, "You better have us winning."
Yeah, I mean, They didn't want to make any risky bets, I guess.
You know. NFL, we had the wild card games last week. Any surprises from you there? I'll run you through them. Baltimore beat Tennessee 20-13. The Bills beat the Colts 27-24. Yeah. Sorry. The biggest one I think for most people was the Browns beating the Steelers 48-37. Although most of the game was not at all what that scoreline looked like. They were up
big,
very big. I don't think Pittsburgh scored in the first half. If they did, it was like a field goal. Tampa Bay beating your Washington football team, which I mean, it must have been pretty exciting to just be in the playoffs, though, huh?
Taylor Heineke, the chosen one.
Yeah, he was balling. Yeah, no, all good for him. And
another quarterback that's not good enough for us to get rid of. I love it.
Well, Jared was thinking that some team might just think he's the truth after that one game and take him off your hands and sign him to like a real big contract, and he's just absolutely not it. I don't know. Then we had one that just blew my mind seeing, but I guess my friend told me it wasn't that surprising. Like just seeing the box score was Rams Seahawks. I thought the Seattle was gonna. I don't know. I thought Russell Wilson. Yeah, he's Russell Wilson.
The Rams defense is unreal.
No, I know.
Unreal.
I always forget
it's just a matter of like how good of a quarterback is Jared Goff going to be. Like that's going to decide how many playoff games they win this year. Because
I mean, yeah, they made the Super Bowl last year. Like it was
last year? Question
2 years ago. Sorry,
2, I believe.
Was it 2? I just remember
last year was really Chiefs.
I know. Didn't they beat the Rams?
Chiefs beat the Rams. Chiefs beat the Niners.
Sorry. And 2 good defense teams. I got them mixed up. It was the year before. And who beat them? That was Brady. Yeah. Oh, the most boring.
Like the least exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And that just shows you like Brady outcoached. Like he was able to pull the strings on a pretty mediocre quarterback. And, you can have a great defense, but if your team scores 3 points in the entire game, it doesn't really matter how good your defense is because they're going to get worn out.
Right. But I mean, that game was definitely a battle of defenses because that was the year New England's defense was also like their fantasy point. They were averaging like 20 a game or something like, yeah.
Nasty.
They were nasty, which is part of the reason why, just throw back to what we said earlier. A bunch of New England's defensive, like best players all opted out this season, which I know like they had other problems like offensively, but I know Connor. Well, actually, I haven't talked to Connor. I know a lot of people are pointing that's the reason they were as bad as they were this year. Like they definitely had other problems. But sorry. So yeah. So I know. Yeah. So what? I don't know. Like, were there any surprises? Do you think the Browns have any chance of doing anything against the Chiefs? And yeah, I don't know. What predictions do you have? Any things that surprised you? Or
the 2 games that I watched the Bills play the Colts, and I'm really, really excited for the Colts to get a good quarterback. Like I love Phillip Rivers to death, but his ceiling just isn't high enough for them to be like a super menacing playoff team, in my opinion. Like, and the Colts just have a really fun roster all over the place. O-line, D-line, they just got a bunch of playmakers, and I'm excited for them to be competitive because I feel like I'll enjoy rooting for them. But the Bills were also awesome. Josh Allen played really well. I didn't really like have super high expectations for him, but he's balling this year, and I think they're going to be the biggest threat. They're on the same side of the bracket as the Chiefs. I'm not good about AFC versus NFC, but I'm pretty sure
they are. So yeah, so the 2 sides are Browns, Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, and then Rams, Green Bay, Packers. I couldn't remember what Green Bay was. And then Bucks, Saints. And I keep hitting my mic. That's not good.
Let's see. Who do I think's gonna win? Bucks Saints is gonna be absolutely thrilling. I think the Saints will win. I think the Packers are a lock to win. And
Yeah.
then like Rodgers Breeze gonna be exciting. I just love that side of the bracket because I love all those quarterbacks.
Yeah. No, that was a really fun side of the bracket.
It's Packers who? Who the Packers playing?
Packers Rams. They're playing the Rams.
Packers Rams. That might be the best game this coming weekend.
Because the defense, Aaron Rodgers, but the Rams
absurd
defense
versus absurd offense. Jalen Ramsey on Devontae Adams. That's gonna be like must see TV, quite frankly.
And Aaron Donald just being Aaron Donald.
Yeah, no, the Rams have a bunch of defensive line menaces. Like Aaron Donald gets a lot of creds and he deserves it, but he's not a one-man show.
Right.
They have a bunch of other. I just watched them play the Seahawks, and Aaron Donald would get double teamed, but everyone else was just shooing Russell Wilson.
Right. But I mean, because they have to double team Aaron Donald, because if they don't, Aaron Donald's just gonna demolish the 140 they put on him.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll make a prediction. I not super invested in it, but the NFL's all offensive based. All the rules favor the offense. And it's just hard to imagine the Packers with the better offense not being able to outplay Jared Goff. Like, I know the Packers have a really, really poor run defense. And so like the Rams are liable to like win this game with time of possession and a few timely stops. But I think Rodgers is going to be Rodgers, and he's going to go win that game. He's going to be the best player on the field. And Devonta Adams might also be the best. We gotta have to cut it this segment. I'm starting to run out of steam.
You're good. Just start here.
Not ready.
I'll just cut it from somewhere. We'll figure it out. Boom.
No, I can finish talking about the NFL, but after that.
Okay. After that, we just had lightning round, and that was it. We're almost done. Oh, we're frozen anyway. Lovely.
Brain got poop. And then if you're gonna say Breeze Packers, because I'm picking Breeze over Brady.
Yep.
Breeze Packers, I think, is a different story because the Rams have the best playmaker at running back, and the Packers have a Collender playing defense for them in terms of their running defense is an absolute sieve.
Yeah.
So I think Kamara is going to run through them, and the Saints are going to be in the Super Bowl, and I would love to see
because the Saints do have a decent defense too. People have been Kamara's been balling.
A Saints Chiefs or a Saints Bills.
Do you think the Bills can beat? Sorry, first, do you think the Browns stand any chance against the Chiefs? There's like a really popular clip of Chase Claypool on like TikTok Live, and he's like, and it doesn't matter. He's like, the Browns are gonna get waxed by the Chiefs.
I think that, quite frankly, regardless of the validity of that statement, I think that's just the sorriest thing to go and say. Like, we lost to a team, but they're gonna lose next. Because I mean, by that logic, like, you're just at the very bottom of the food chain.
Right. Like, because you lost to a team that lost to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and to try and like, rain on their parade because you played bad and you lost. Like, it's just like, that's just sorry. Like, go home, dude. Like, shut up. Like, do something to be better. Like, don't try and bring someone down that just shellacked you.
Right. I mean, that was kind of the story of the Steelers this year was, Juju dancing on all the logos when they're doing good. And then they lost like 3 in a row because people were getting really mad about it.
I guess dancing on the logo is disrespectful. Like, I wouldn't be super offended by that personally, but I guess it's not unreasonable to let that get under your skin. But I'm inclined to not really care that he's dancing. I did see his commentary like, oh, the Browns are going to be the Browns. Don't matter. We going to beat them. And that's also like I don't know why you're running your mouth on the week before a playoff game. Like, just be a professional, go out there and beat them on the field, and you can get your licks in the post-game press conference if you feel so inclined. But ultimately, like, it's hard to ask a 23-year-old kid with that much money to be an adult when he's more interested in TikTok. But be an adult, please. So, I mean, I feel like the Steelers are just irrelevant. Like, sorry, J-Tuck, but your boys were sorry as hell, and they stay sorry as hell, apparently. Win, lose, or draw. Sorry.
Tough.
Regardless, the Browns are going to get thrashed by the Chiefs, so I guess the Steelers can lick their wounds with that. That's just a sorry way to perceive the whole situation as a loser. But Chiefs are going to roll. And based on what I saw, I think the Bills are going to roll. I don't even remember who you said they were playing.
The Ravens. And I was watching the Ravens game. I've not been super, impressed by the Ravens, even though their defense, I'm impressed with their defense. Their defense has been unreal. I realized that was really taken away from a lot of the good things the Ravens have done. The Ravens defense has been lock. I always forget, but they have like a really good safety who's like making a case for defensive player of the year that a boss was always just raving about. Humphreys, I want to say is his last name. No, that's the New England. I don't know.
Don't care. I'm
Yeah.
picking the Bills. Bills won their first playoff game since yours truly was born, and I think they're going to do it again this weekend. And let's get crazy and pick the Bills to beat the Chiefs. Shoot for the moon, baby.
You have Chiefs.
Shoot for the moon.
Chiefs Saints is your Bills Saints. Bills
Saints. And I mean, we've already gotten so absurd. I've got the Bills in the Super Bowl. I might as well pick them to win. So
you don't want Drew Brees to finally win a Super Bowl?
I want Drew Brees to win, but I'm picking the Bills.
I love it.
It's that time of night. Absurd take Nate.
I'm gonna bring it back to
Bills,
reality.
baby. Mm-hmm.
My predictions, I'm gonna snap back to reality.
Who you got? Let me know. Lay it on me.
The Chiefs are the Chiefs. I've been telling everyone, it's the same thing as the Warriors the last like 4 years, where people were like, oh, the Warriors, they're finally not that good. They're going to lose. And then they just swept everyone.
No one ever said that.
No, they did.
Next question. People saying Kevin Durant joined the Warriors, oh, they're going to lose.
No, the year before that.
The year they lost? Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I was thinking more about the KD era, but honestly,
one year of the dynasty that they made, 1 year of their 3 out of 4, or was that how many they did? 3 out of the 4, right? They did 2. They almost repeated.
Won 3 out of 4. They were in 5 straight.
Yes.
No, they were in
4 straight. They were about a 3-peat,
yeah.
and then LeBron was LeBron and took the third one away, and then they got KD and went. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So the second one was the year that people were like, for some reason, they thought they had a chink in their armor, and they were like, the war. They were forks up, ASU Sun Devils. They were saying, they're like, this is the year they have a chink in their armor. They're not gonna, everyone thinks they're gonna win, and they're gonna get upset by, I think the Rockets or someone that year, or the Thunder or something. I don't remember. But so
you could sleep through the entire first 2-3 rounds of the NBA playoffs for half a decade.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, Steph Curry. Thank you, LeBron James.
Correct. But I'm saying
I don't think that's the case here with Patrick Mahomes. I know he only has to play 2 games, but I think he also has to win 2 games. Like, neither of them are going to come easy.
No, sorry. You're right. Sorry. I'm not. I said steamroll. I didn't mean steamroll, but I mean, at the end of the day, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Andy Reid has had a full week to prepare, and Andy Reid off a week of rest is always terrifying. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The Chiefs are a very good team. Their defense has always been what it is. But we've seen them.
Who they play?
They're playing the Browns, which is a good defense.
Oh, yeah, of course they're going to beat the Browns. Anyone's going to look like the damn Warriors playing the Browns.
No, right. And that's what
that many weapons. I think it's over for the Browns.
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. And then I think Ravens, Bills is going to be a defensive game. I think I like the Bills offense more than I like the Ravens offense. So I'm taking Bills. And then unlike you, I'm taking Kansas City over the Bills because Kansas City is Kansas City. That's where I'm making that statement is what I mean. I think just weapons and playoff Patrick Mahomes is better than the general Bills. The Josh Allen might have the best game of his career, and he could feasibly. I'm not saying it's unwinnable. I'm just saying
it's not unwinnable. Like it's definitely gonna be a game.
It's gonna be a good game.
I don't think either team will roll, but I mean, obviously the Chiefs are gonna be favored. Are you picking? Are you gonna pick? I don't know my gambling terminology that well, but do you think the Bills will make the line? Is that what I want to
say? Cover.
Yeah. Do you think the Bills will cover? Like, are you saying like the Chiefs are gonna show up and work people like the Warriors would work the Trailblazers 2 or 3 years ago? Or do you think like, Patrick Mahomes is going to have to lead a game-winning drive? Because you're saying, oh, they're like the Warriors. And I'm a
Right.
little bit hung up on that comment, but I think that's absurd.
Firstly, they are absolutely going to do that. Well, because unlike the NBA, they have a bye week. And so feasibly, if they had, this is the second round. I'm saying this is the second round. If they had if they had a bracket like the NBA, they would have obliterated their first team. This would be their second matchup. I'm saying they're going to obliterate the Browns. Yes, this would be the equivalent of the Western Conference Finals, which was the closest they came to losing that one year. I think they were down 3-1 to KD and that Oklahoma team. And so,
okay.
You're right. So I'm saying,
whatever, dude.
So yeah, so this game, I think, sure. Since we're going crazy now, I will say the Browns will cover. My heart is telling me
Browns are covering?
The Browns.
I was talking about the Bills. You think the Browns are covering?
No, I don't.
Spice on record saying Baker Mayfield will win the Super Bowl? Good Lord.
I'm somehow you're rubbing off on me.
Good God Almighty. Which way do I steer for my Baker
Chiefs
Mayfield
Bills
in the Super Bowl? What is happening?
I don't know. I'm just going to finish it as quick as possible. Chiefs, Bills cover, Chiefs win, Chiefs to the Super Bowl. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers steamrolls the Rams and then the Saints. Green Bay, Kansas City Super Bowl. I was going to say
State Farm Super Bowl? Oh, shiver me timbers.
I was going to just immediately say Kansas City takes that, but I think Aaron Rodgers has something to prove this year. He's coming off an MVP-esque season. I'm going to go with Green Bay. I want to say Green Bay wins Super Bowl. Close game with the Chiefs, definitely cover against the Chiefs. Hopefully on like a absolutely insane Aaron Rodgers like last 2-minute drill drive with ideal. I don't know. I would just love that. It'd just be like the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl. That was the most fun Super Bowl I've ever interacted with, mostly because, we just had a Patriots fan in the building to root against, and it was my first year in Philly, and so I felt attached to the city, as well as it was just fun all ganging up on Connor, against Connor. And it was also just a Madden game in terms of the stats, like Nick Foles. Just everything about that game was very exciting, and they played it awesome. The Philly special play was electric. It was so, especially, and then Tom Brady tried to do it and then just looked like the least athletic person, even though he's the best quarterback of all time. He looked the least athletic ever in that moment.
Iconic. His most remembered moment of his whole career.
Exactly.
Let's be honest, there's more people that hate him than like him. Actually, that's probably not true.
But no. But yeah, so I'm hoping for a Super Bowl classic. Green Bay winning. Green
Bay.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers, absolutely electric game. Green Bay. All right. So thanks for joining us, Rye, for our first interview of 2021. Just wanted to kind of ask some questions about like your D3 experience, and then just like a fun little lightning round or something after.
Awesome.
Yeah. So just start off, how did your recruitment process go? How did you end up at Swarthmore? Just kind of run down that whole situation. Like, why D3?
Yeah. So yeah, my recruitment process, I feel like wasn't too bad, honestly. I mean, like, I was talking to Washington Lee, which is a school in Virginia, and then Middlebury, and then Swarthmore mostly. I got some other interest from like other ODAC schools, but I didn't really want to go to the ODAC. I didn't want to stay that close to home. But yeah, I mean, pretty much when I went on my visit to SWAT and I met with Landry and the guys, I hung out with Nate and Beloga all day. I was like, yeah, this place is awesome. Like, I'm definitely gonna come here. And I canceled my visit to Middlebury right away. And I was just like, I just told Landry that I was coming like a few weeks later. So yeah, that was super exciting. And I think, to answer the question why D3, I mean, like, I think D3 is like almost one of the purest forms of like sports, but basketball in general. Like, I feel like everyone is there because they love basketball. They really have a passion for it. Like, there's no really other reason to play. And that was kind of my main reason for playing basketball. Like, I love it. I love going to practice every day. I love grinding with all the guys. It's just something that I've always loved. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah,
I
man.
really like what you said about how it's the purest form. I mean, like no one's walking in the door every day because they're getting a lot of attention or they're going to get paid in a year, or
Right.
they're the kings of campus or whatever you want to say. They're just there to have fun and get better on occasion.
Exactly. Hopefully get better.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps when you're one of the better teams in the nation.
That does help, but that also, I think, it doesn't just come to you. You got to work really hard, as we all know.
It's our version of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Other teams aren't built for it.
Definitely. And so, I guess from that vein of thought, the D3 purest form of basketball, it definitely comes with it gives and it takes. I don't know how to preface it in the best way. So I kind of want to ask you, what was your, I guess, either favorite like D3 moment, or I guess by nature of that, I guess like your worst, like the Instagram account, like D3 problems, like stuff like that. What's like the number one story you tell when you're like trying to, I don't know, the strangest thing that's happened to you like playing D3?
I think both were this past year. The one was the Stevens game where we got stuck in like the middle of the street and had to walk like 2 miles to the game. Our bus, like the roads were too narrow for our bus to fit in. So we all got up, with our bags and everything, just walked to the game. And then the other one was the Ursinus game where we were taking the school bus and we were already like stuck in traffic. We were like 30 minutes later than we were supposed to. And we all had to change on the bus, get into our jerseys, run into the locker room. We had like 10 minutes to warm up, and then we ended up beating Ursinus. But it was crazy. It's stereotypical D3 moment.
I love D3 moment. There's just so many like that. I've sent the memory of us like playing toss with that apple when our bus broke down in New Jersey. Our bus freezing in Middlebury. Like there's just so many.
Yeah, I forgot about Middlebury. That was funny.
It seems like they're all bus related.
Yeah,
mostly travel related. I mean, also are just massive jerseys. The picture of you and Connor from freshman year was an all-time picture.
you better get new away jerseys. That's all I'm saying, or else I'm done.
One D3 moment that sticks out in my mind is a viral picture of Giannis in the bubble with this big trash bag that he filled with water bottles, and he was like really excited about it because they were like free water bottles, and he was like taking them back to his room or something. And I mean, it's ironic having this like multimillionaire hijack what's probably like $18 worth of water.
Yeah.
But I definitely remember going to the Final Four and just being blown away that there was a mini fridge full of Body Armor sports drink at every like pregame walkthrough, and every game, like every time we showed up to the arena, it was there and it was fully stocked, and we would just clear it out, not because we loved Body Armor or because we were really thirsty, but just like it was there, and it's like, whoa, like this is sick. We're getting like free stuff, dude. This is crazy. Like we just gotta like, and we just wiped that thing clean every single time we showed up.
I think after the championship game, I'm pretty sure George stuffed like 10 bottles of Body Armor into his bag just because he could.
Yeah, so there it is.
Yeah, so you mentioned the national championship game. I was gonna ask what your favorite game that you've been a part of in your last 3 years. Like obviously Fort Wayne was really cool. Last week I was talking with Nate about like what I point to, like our best game is always just the MIT game where we just smoked MIT.
Yeah.
But I just want to get ask you that.
I mean, Obviously, like I have to say MIT. That game was just so much fun. But other than that, one game that really sticks out to me is Middlebury, our freshman year away. That was like one of the first times we were playing like a NESCAC school, and there was so much hype about them, and then we just kind of blitzed them. And then just like afterwards, like taking the bus home at like 10 o'clock, having like a 7-hour bus ride, just like hanging out with the guys was so much fun. And then that like winter break was amazing, just in general. And then Randolph Macon was also an unbelievable game.
Yeah.
When Connor hit that game winner with like 3 seconds left.
Off the assist from you, or did you swing it to the person who assisted him?
Cam passed to me, George passed to Cam passed to me, and then I passed to Connor in the corner.
Roommate to roommate.
Yep. Yeah, that was awesome, and especially because I knew the Randolph Macon coach, and I went to like their team camp every year in high school, so it was fun to beat them for sure. But that game definitely stood out to me.
Yeah, I know. We always joke that we were a little weighed down to start that game from another. I guess that could be another D3 moment. The UMass Amherst best cafeteria in the country just blew Sharples out the water.
Yeah, I think everyone
normally have a very reliable digestive system, but I had heartburn like in the first half. Like that's like something I've experienced like twice in my life, and I was like, wow, this is heartburn. Like I don't know what it is. I ate just about everything there, but I'm regretting it.
And then I want to also ask you about, while we're talking about games, what do you think your personal best game has been? Because I was talking with Nate before you got on about how just kind of like you're so much more like of a reliable player. Like you I don't know, that's just your role on our team, is just kind of, get a few big buckets, lock down 41, their point guard the whole game, and just be a dog.
Yeah.
And so any game you thought you did any of that particularly, or any that sticks out particularly?
Honestly, it's pretty hard to think of one. Not that I have like a ton of them, but just the fact that like I feel like that's not really that important on our team. I just like, I don't know. I don't really think of our team as like a bunch of individuals. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to pick one game where I stood out. I don't know.
I think I agree. It's difficult to look at our games in the context of individual performances because so little of each minor success along the way during the game is due to an individual's performance. It's
right.
Like everyone has a finger in the pie of every single bucket that happens. So it's tough to say that, I played well or I didn't play well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so honestly, I can't really think of one particular game. But...
Good. That was a test.
Yeah.
That was a test.
Landry told me to include that question. All right. Less relevant questions that I think will be more fun. So you can make them as quick or as short as you want.
I'll just fire them off.
Yeah. Favorite resource in Catan? Or? Okay. Favorite expansion pack?
Seafarers, of course.
Seafarers, obviously. I know that was a trick question. Favorite spot on the court to shoot from?
Right wing, in front of the fans. Or in front of the bench. Left wing.
Just the wing. Favorite location to drop in Fortnite?
Tilted.
You're that sweaty?
Yep. I am that sweaty.
Okay.
Or Dirty Docks. That's my competitive drop spot.
Okay. You're just trying to get some kills with the boys. You go to Tilted. Otherwise, okay. Got it. Favorite country artist, and then or just song in general?
I mean Luke Combs. Yeah, Morgan Wallen, two of the best in the game right now. If you haven't listened to them, do it now.
You put me on Luke Combs. I'm a big fan of Luke Combs now. And do you have a couple favorite songs by him? I wouldn't make you just pick one, because that's always a mean question.
Is he the guy that sings like "Things Go Better Together"?
Yeah, Better
Yeah.
Together.
I saw
You
Right
played
on
that
piano.
song in Cali. You played that song in Cali, and I've played it a bunch since.
It's
Appreciate
so
you.
good. That
Yeah.
song is just so pure. Um, Even Though I'm Leaving is good, a little sad. I like Honky Tonk Highway. That's faster pace. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, a lot of his stuff is good.
Okay. Simply because you said Honky Tonk Highway, I also want to ask, what's your favorite road trip song? Because we had many road trips in the fall.
What was that song? On the Road Again? Is that the
Road
Who
again,
knows?
yeah.
On
He
the
would
road
always
again.
play that.
whenever we left anywhere, that song was on.
We
So
played that a bunch. I don't know like how our seating arrangements worked out. Not this most recent season, but 2 seasons ago. But Pete and I would sit next to each other a lot on the bus just because we're habitual bus seaters. And like all through Fort Wayne, he'd just like we'd get on the bus and he'd be like, show me his, the first song he's playing. It's On the Road Again by Willie Nelson. Like he'd be like, yo, check it out. I'd be like, sick, dude. Like,
yeah,
that's cool. Like, I love the song. I love the vibe. It's
I
very
know.
accurate.
We were always so hyped when we'd start driving to wherever we were going. Like,
we're on the road again. Like
on the road again.
I
I
mean,
know
you could
that
play
one.
that song headed to the grocery store where you live. But
We literally, that's what I'm saying. We literally, every time we went anywhere, we would play that. And like occasionally you would like think it was going to get annoying. And then we just start playing. And you're just like, you just couldn't get mad. It was just
it
always.
comes back around. You're like, damn, this is
Yeah.
a banger.
vibing on the.
What were some other? I forget what the other song. We had like 2 other songs. We had the Mumford and Sons one. It's like Little Lion Man. We played that one time.
I listened to more Nickelback in a week.
Rockstar, yeah,
the
by
rest of my
Nickelback.
life.
Yeah.
My favorite memory of Rockstar was when we were out on the Ponga or whatever it's called, out in San Francisco, and then the gas shuts off, and we were like, oh God, like what are we gonna do? And we just start paddling back to your boat, listening to Rockstar, just like screaming and yelling at each other.
No, then we put on Pirates of the Caribbean as we were pulling in. So I don't think Nate, did we ever tell you that story about breaking down? Oh my gosh, yeah.
No, this is new.
Oh yeah. So we weren't that far out. We made it almost back. We were like so you go out the harbor and there's a channel that connects to the main channel. So we were on that. You could see the marina from where we were, like the entrance to there.
Help me out here though. What is a pongo?
Ponga, it's like a inflatable speedboat. So it's got a hard bottom. It's like a fiberglass bottom, but the sides are inflatable. You've definitely seen them in like movies and stuff.
Yeah, I can picture it. It's like what the SWAT team like.
Exactly, yeah. But ours is smaller because we're not like a military grade one.
Whatever. All right, I got you.
But yeah, like we all 6 of us were on there comfortably. We went out for sunset. We had sick videos and pictures of just the sunset because sun's going down and reflecting off the ocean. We were the only boat out. It was actually really sick. So we went out there with the speaker and we're just hanging out. And then we came back right as the sun was going down. It's just
a 2 of y'all?
No, the 6 of us, all of us.
Okay, all
right. And then as we're pulling in, I guess Ryan, you want to tell the story? Yeah, sorry, you started the story.
No, I mean sure, I'll take it. Yeah, so as we're pulling in, we like stop and like Spice like checks the gauge, the gas gauge, and it says we're like almost full, right? And then but like we just can't move, we can't like go, we can't start the boat. And so we take out our little paddles that were like this big probably, and we turn on Pirates of the Caribbean and we're just all like yelling like pirates and stuff, and we're like trying to paddle, and Jared has like half a paddle and he's like not doing anything. And it takes forever to move like an inch.
Yeah.
So it probably took like what 30-ish minutes maybe.
At least, yeah. Because I mean it's not meant to be paddled. There's a reason there's like an engine on the back.
Yeah. And then some guy like comes out on the dock and he's like, yeah, like you guys need a tow or something. Like we were all just like yelling, like blasting.
You're like just coming in the marina, yeah.
what are these guys doing? And he tows us, which arguably took longer.
It did, yeah, because we'd like swing back and forth, and you have to like correct and like pull us that way and then that way. And we were just locked in. We were just ready to just grind out the last couple hundred feet.
I wanted to finish it out, but no, we agreed to let this man help us. It seemed like he wanted to. So
yeah, got to do the guy a favor.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a nice guy.
Wanted to be a pirate. What can you say?
That's right. Yeah, that was awesome. That was super fun, actually.
That is absolutely hilarious. I can just picture it. Like, it's just like the anticlimactic movie scene of like, we're doing something sick and then you like pan out and it's like you're not accomplishing anything at all.
That's exactly how it was.
Absolutely.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So you're talking about songs. We transitioned from country music to Pirates of the Caribbean in California. Damn. All right. All right. So where are we at next?
I was almost done. I had two more questions that were very specific. One was favorite meal / I guess establishment that you can only get in Virginia.
Photos.
But I was just
Is
lobbing
there
that up
more
for
of
you.
a softball question?
It was. No, it was. I just wanted to. So, Ryan, what is Bodo's and why do you love it so much for people who don't know?
Bagels is the best bagel shop in the country, in the world, some might say.
I think that's a conservative estimate, quite frankly.
Yeah. And if you haven't been, you have to go. If you're ever in the Charlottesville area, you have to go. It's so good. I've been wanting to bring you guys Bodo's like since I've been talking about it, but I want your first experience to be in Charlottesville. You know, I can't ruin it with a stale bagel at SWAT. So
What do you think is like a defining characteristic of Bodo's? Like, is it the way they put sandwiches together? Is it the bagels themselves? Is it just eating it hot out of the oven? Like, because my mom makes fresh bagels out of the oven. It's like, wow, like these are knocked dead, and I just eat them like with butter, like sesame seed bagels.
Yeah, I want to say it's the water that they use or something. I know that's a thing. That might be a thing in New York.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just the cream cheese. Their homemade cream cheese is amazing, and they give it to you warm, and the cream cheese is like kind of like dripping off the bagel and stuff. It's so good. Amazing.
The other thing that I know about Bodo's, and I've never been to Bodo's, but I know you, so I know Bodo's a little bit, is that they serve it in a really particular way with like the bagel halves smushed together like a sandwich. Even if you're not eating like lunch meats or whatever on it, like it's served squished together and you eat it squished together. You don't pull it apart. What's your opinion on that?
That's how I eat all my bagels. I mean, I do eat peanut butter bagels, 2 halves, but other than that, strictly sandwich, cream cheese, deli meats, you know, anything.
Oh, I thought that was just an East Coast thing, because I feel like a lot of guys on the team do that, and so I just assumed I'd never even seen people do that until I came to SWAT. So I just assumed it was like an East Coast thing. I didn't realize that was a regional variant.
That's got to be a weird thing for you to like interpret, Spice. Like coming to the East Coast and seeing things like, is this a weird person?
Right.
Is this a person that's doing something weird to their particular like school, something weird to their state, or is this just like a weird East Coast thing? Like I don't know how to gauge your weird behavior at all.
I never know. Yeah. I don't exactly have the most normal baseline to test off of daily.
You just got to hook up with the freeway and then you take it and you take this one to that one. What's the SNL skit that I'm poorly describing here?
The Californians.
Yeah. Get off on Mulholland where you belong.
Devin.
Get on the 10 and get out of here.
That's great.
All-time SNL skit for sure.
Yeah.
The last question I have was another kind of softball. Your go-to Raising Cane's order. Nate, did you ever get Raising Cane's with us, or do you know Raising Cane's? Oh, it's the one thing we failed.
I did. I'll let Ardot go. This is his question, but
yeah.
I'll have to follow up.
Yeah, one sec. I mean, box combo, no salt, extra toast, extra sauce. That's my go-to. But recently, I have been getting, whenever I'm like not that hungry, I have been getting the 3-finger combo, which, you know, it does the job. Gives you the taste, and it's not like you don't feel all greasy afterwards, you know? So.
It's not a food baby meal. Sometimes you don't need a food baby meal.
Exactly. But
the Caniac is great for if you do want a food baby. If you want to just not do anything the rest of the night.
6 fingers, 2 toasts or something, bunch of fries. Yeah,
when
actually,
you say toast, are you meaning like toast like you eat for breakfast? Is that what I'm understanding?
Texas toast.
Okay.
It's like really light. It's like a really light bread that they, I think, put butter and like grill it or something.
Yeah, it's like
butter and garlic.
Okay.
Garlic, yeah.
Familiar.
Sorry, Nate. What were you saying?
I was saying that I did when I was in Cali. Like I forget what I put it on. I think it was like a rotisserie chicken that y'all had in the fridge. But I got a nice dose of cane sauce.
Mm.
And I remember that was good. I was like, all right, like this is a convincing introduction to what is a it's fried chicken, right? Like that's
All they do.
That's basically all it is.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like In-N-Out, but with fried chicken. They have like 3 or 4 things on their menu.
In-N-Out. What's In-N-Out? I've only heard of the vastly superior Five Guys.
You guys all don't even joke about this. You guys all said it was pretty good. The fries were the weakest part.
I can't imagine showing up to a fast food burgers and fries joint and being disappointed by French fries.
I'm not disappointed.
You can go into a McDonald's and get like excellent French fries.
I will
McDonald's is like the most average.
I will never eat
disappointing place ever.
I will never eat McDonald's French fries again. Did you guys ever see that video about where they left them all in jars they left like all the stuff from McDonald's in jars for like months?
I mean, that's gonna be the same level of grossness at In-N-Out. Like it's
No.
all gross.
I'm saying, dude, the problem was the fries after like 6 months, nothing changed. That's just disgusting to me.
They definitely changed. They don't taste as good the next day. I know that for a fact.
I mean, same, but appearance-wise, they looked good enough to eat after 6 months, which is
they're gonna look different when I chew on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying no.
Spice, this is a horrible argument because you're trying to say that McDonald's is bad and convince us that In-N-Out is good. Like they don't coincide at all. Because you're gonna lose where you're going here. It's just a lost cause. You're a lost cause, Spice. In-N-Out is better than I was expecting after having it one time and being like sick to my stomach, like disappointed. And so I was like, all right, like it's a pretty decent burger. And when you don't make the mistake of ordering animal fries, you won't hate yourself. But the fries are bad. They're just bad.
Yeah, it's like
the strangest thing. Like fries are always good and somehow they're bad.
I like the In-N-Out fries, so let's agree to disagree.
I don't think you do.
I do. I finish everything that I get when I eat McDonald's and I eat In-N-Out.
Dog, you're a psych guy, right? You could throw together a quick explanation of cognitive dissonance. I mean, you don't have to because we've just given an excellent example for the kids at home. But cognitive dissonance is basically what Spice is experiencing by eating bad fries and telling himself they're good.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
Anyways,
that was my last question.
The burger's actually pretty good at In-N-Out though, but the fries are awful. Cardboard.
And the shakes are pretty good.
The shakes are good, but I have a question for Nate.
Yes.
So you haven't been to Cane's, but do you have a go-to fast food? And if so, what is it?
A go-to fast food. Honestly, like we have not done a lot of eating out in terms of fast food places. I mean, we get takeout sometimes, but when you're thinking about takeout and bringing it home, fast food kind of loses its appeal. And interestingly enough, I love Chipotle, and my dad cannot stand Chipotle because like standing at the line and like looking at all the options and having to make a decision when he feels like the little burrito wrapper lady behind the counter is like, making him hurry up. He's like, I don't know. And he'll just leave the line. And so he really hates Chipotle. But that's something I like. That's definitely the top of the list. Chipotle, Chick-fil-A. And I mean, like Five Guys, I definitely remember I recently spent a month in Ireland, very short month. It was supposed to be longer. And I had a lot of cravings for American chain food restaurants that just aren't over there at all. Chipotle was one of them. Chick-fil-A was one of them. Also, interestingly, Five Guys, which I don't get very often. Like I'm rarely in the mood for just a big grease bomb burger. But I was like, wow, like that's what I want. They just don't have the types of quantities and kind of gross foods that we have over there. And the other one that I was missing out a lot on that I think is like one of the most underrated fast food places out there is Waffle House. Waffle House is like, it was our go-to road trip stop for AAU trips and stuff. So we would just pile in there, and like that's where you can get a lot of bang for your buck in terms of quantity, and breakfast food is excellent, I think, any time of day. So Waffle House will also be on my list.
I like that. I like that take. Waffle House.
It's a pretty good take, yeah.
Continue, Spice. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Mine is basically just the exact same thing you said, because you got me on that. No slaw, extra sauce. The extra toast, I can take or leave. But yeah, it's elite. Cane's is elite. Even I'm vegetarian now. If I ever break being vegetarian, I would do it for Cane's.
R.I.P.
I have a Cane gift card actually, so I gotta go use that. I got it for Christmas.
That's sick. Nate, favorite country artist / song?
I gotta go with a guy. I'm going the opposite direction of R-Dog in terms of timeline. He's picking the hot hand as of late, but I'm going with a guy who actually, rest in peace, died this year. One of my dad's favorites that he got me hooked on. His name's Jerry Jeff Walker. I don't know if you guys frozen right now. No, you're not frozen. His name's Jerry Jeff Walker, and he just has a bunch of rootin' tootin' songs. They're just tons of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my favorite out of all of them. There's one called Sangria Wine, so I think it's actually like his best song. Like it's a really good song. Like most of his stuff is like crazy drunk cowboy type music where it's like it's not necessarily well done. Like it's not super talented, but it's super fun. But I would say my favorite of his stuff is Pissin' in the Wind, which definitely fits into that tier where he's basically just yelling the whole time, like about how he's pissing in the wind. And it's just great vibes in my opinion. You got to listen to it. I'm not giving it a good sell right now, but
yeah. I mean, that's what you want from country though. Just a fun song that you can vibe to. Like that's all you need.
Yep. Jerry Jeff Walker, look him up.
Definitely. No, you played both the songs.
One of the OG cowboy music guys.
You played both. I'm big fans of both those songs via you because you've introduced me to them.
Interestingly enough, just one other tidbit on Jerry Jeff Walker. My dad was not in a fraternity in college, but he did, along with some of his buddies, make an anti-fraternity, which their slogan was basically they were going to be a fraternity without the community service. And they were known as the Jerry Jeff Walker Jack Daniels Labrador Retrievers Benevolent Society, otherwise known as the Liars Club. And so there was just a bunch of random things that they all liked, and Jerry Jeff Walker was one of them. So Jerry Jeff Walker, interestingly, was a foundational experience of both his and my college experiences. Foundational component of both of our time in school, and I think that's pretty poetic.
Yeah,
definitely. I've only recently gotten to country. Rye definitely put me on that the last couple months. You guys have been slowly introducing it more. Before that, though, I really only knew like the mainstream, like Toes. But I don't even remember. Is that Zach Brown Band or yeah. I learned that one on guitar, enjoyed that one a lot. But before that, the only real country song I listened to, which like he's like I guess more pop than country now, was like Tim McGraw, like "Live Like You Were Dying" was just the song that like my whole family would just blast in the car, just always. Yeah, good vibes, great artist. Then I found "Humble and Kind" by him a couple years later, which I also liked, maybe marginally less, but I liked a lot.
It's probably time to move on, but I would be bummed if we didn't also throw out Florida Georgia Line too. That's got to be in the convo. Yeah. Nothing needs to be said. They're excellent, but shout out.
The next question really doesn't pertain to me because I don't play Fortnite. But Nate, where's your favorite location to drop in Fortnite?
Well, any of our true fans would know. Any of our streamers, not on this particular podcast channel, but on me and Loga's Twitch stream, they would know that we're mobile gamers, and unfortunately, in the sad state of affairs, Fortnite has fallen behind in the mobile world because Apple has imprisoned our creative abilities, and so we're still stuck with the map from 6 months ago. So our favorite spot to drop is Authority, which is like the hot shot spot to drop, if I don't say so myself. And Logue starts flying all over the place with the grappler, and I just get to load up on whatever's in the vault, and we go out and slaughter people, and that's normally how it goes, but definitely not always. So yeah, Authority is our spot.
It's been a while since that's been in the game.
Yeah, it has. We never got any of the like superhero stuff, which I was super bummed about.
Yeah, the Marvel.
I had just accumulated enough. What's the currency? The victory V-Bucks. Yeah, I had just accumulated enough victory V-Bucks to to finally buy my first battle pass because
No.
I'd never actually like spent any money. So I was like, all right, like I don't want to spend money on it. Like I took some pride in that for whatever reason. But I was like, all right, like now I can get it and I can get it free of charge. And the superhero stuff is coming out next. Like I love all that stuff. Like I can't wait to run around as Iron Man or whatever they had, Daredevil.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Yeah, and it just so happened that I couldn't get any of it at all. And so now I'm sitting on a huge stack of cash that I can't spend and shooting stuff on a map that doesn't exist for the rest of the world, but somehow still having fun with it.
I respect that.
Tragic.
Ryan doesn't stop on Fort. It's been 3 years.
Been a lot of years. That was part of why Mert's freshman year was so electric. That was the introduction of Fortnite.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
I think it was you, Spice, that threw the Snapchat memory in there.
Yeah.
Of Zoe's first program win.
Yep.
So like arguably it's a milestone moment for like Swarthmore athletics as a whole. Zach Odell's first Fortnite win for probably anyone in the Swarthmore campus. It was absolutely mind-blowing. I was there to witness it firsthand. And those that were there will tell you that R-Dog won the very next game.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
The lesser-known fact.
Yeah, exactly. He did not anticipate to be able to follow that up because at that point in time, winning was just unfathomable. And he landed at the top of a big hill and cut down a bunch of trees and made a big fort because he wanted to have fun.
Yep.
And it just so happened that the last guy alive had to run up the hill while he was standing in that fort. And R-Dog sealed the deal back to back. And that was, electricity was in the air that day, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the most memorable days of my life at this point.
I mean, it was memorable because I remember Rye was like the hot shot player because, you know, he introduced it to us. And so he had more experience and was like the guy. And then Zoe won. And people were definitely chirping. They were like, Rye, like, you have to win this game. Otherwise, Zoe's a better Fortnite player than you.
I mean, we were all still sitting in bushes and
right,
stuff,
yeah.
Which was
that same winter break. I had the game where I was in the cave under Loot Lake with like 10 health because the one guy that ran in almost killed me. And then the circle just closed right on me, and I got second place because I think I got like two kills, 3 kills. I killed the first guy in the cave, and then I came out, and there was like 3 people left, and I killed one of them. Then we're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then like I just got in like a fight with the last guy, and he just had more health than me. And I was just rattled. I was like, that is the best I'll ever do at Fortnite.
My introduction to Fortnite, not playing, but like just being aware of the game, is I walked into, I think it was R-Dog, was it you and Peter, you and Con?
Me and Pete were living here.
And like you were like crouched in some shed in the middle of a field. And I walk in, I'm like, all right, like what's this game y'all are playing? It doesn't seem very exciting. It's not exactly a stimulating thing that's going on. He's looking at a bunch of wood panels and watching a clock tick down. And he's like, yo, Nate, look at the number up there in the corner of the box. You see that? There's 26 people alive. And I was like, so who are these people? Are they computers? He's like, no, R-Dog's like, these are people around the world. I'm 26th in the entire world. And I was like, the entire world? And you're like, yeah. Like, I'm 26th right now, dude, in the world. And I was instantly blown away. And here we are today, playing Fortnite. Hopefully getting better than 26th in the world.
I wish I was 26th in the world in terms of money.
Yeah.
That'd be impressive. You have a shiny pin. That's worth like $2 billion, but
people forget about the shiny pin.
Yep.
Zoe and I spent 5 hours, I think, one day over winter break, just in a plane, just flying around.
Fighting for placement.
At max height, so no one could shoot us.
Yeah. I just remember Fortnite Fridays. You guys would just rush out of our early Friday practice to like grab like Sharples as quick as, or sometimes you wouldn't even go to Sharple. You would just have to get there.
Monato's takeout, I'm pretty sure. And then
right, yeah. So you guys could get on like at 4:00 when it started or whatever time it was and go for the full 4 hours.
Yeah. Those are the days.
Which spec came over during Fortnite Friday? Was it Mike?
Vinny, I think.
It was Vinny?
Yeah.
It might have been a guy that didn't end up coming, but I I remember a spec coming and being like very disinterested in Fortnite and video games in general. And I think Connor was hosting him. Connor didn't get many hosting jobs, so it was probably not a
We're
coveted
in the
spec.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was that was the year all three of us had the same room.
Yeah, but I remember a spec like witnessing Fortnite Friday and like everyone in the room was just like glued to the screens and super into it. And he was just like, what is happening? Like, I think video games are dumb. Like, I'm gonna hate it here. Like everyone on the team is like watching Fortnite or playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
I remember him sitting in like the back corner of Connor's room, and we were just playing Fortnite for like 4 hours, and he was just watching us the whole time.
I remember, was it Mike and Major? Did they come the same week and made them play against each other?
Yeah,
Yep, I remember that.
Even though neither of them liked or played Fortnite.
Yep. Hey
Bot
guys,
City.
here we are today.
Here we are today.
did.
They're still bots.
Yep.
We got 2 more questions, Nate. We got really excited about the Fortnite question, which I wouldn't expect anything less in a call with our dog. Nate, your favorite spot on the court to shoot from?
Favorite spot on the court to shoot from? I mean, like, y'all know me. I put the shooting sleeve on. I'm money from anywhere. But there was definitely a stretch before, I don't know, maybe before Landry was paying any attention to me, where in preseason, or not pregame warmups, like we go to 4-spot shooting, and you know how you're supposed to like move to the different spots and get different shots up, and like guys are supposed to take shots that they can take. But I'm thinking like none of the shots in this drill apply. Like none of it overlaps with shots that I'm allowed to take in a game. So I might as well take whatever shots I want to take. And I would always decide to take corner threes in front of the opposing team's bench. And generally in those pregame situations, there's a handful of like assistant coaches sitting there and they're watching us warm up. And, you know, I'm the like, you know, got minutes last year, don't really have a great scout on him. What's he going to look like this year type sophomore? And they're telling me they're definitely like looking at the film and seeing that I don't even look at the basket unless like I'm close enough to touch it. And then they see me like pull up and start shooting corner threes. And like sometimes, and most of the time I would be not good because that's not a shot I take. But it's like sometimes I just get in a rhythm and I'd hit like 4 in a row, 5 in a row, just like going to the same spot, like not moving around the drill with everyone else, but just like getting real hype and like acting like I'm a knockdown shooter. And then they start going in for me. And I can hear the coaches behind me, like, as I keep refilling the lines, that are looking at each other like, what the hell am I witnessing right now? Like, should we go tell somebody about this? Like, what just happened? Did he drink the special sauce? Like,
Secret stuff.
Yeah, the secret stuff. I would rather not drink the special sauce, but yeah, so that I would say that's my favorite spot on the court to shoot for in particular. But other than that, like just give me a spot to stand on, and it's wetty.
I'm looking forward to seeing those in the alumni game when we have those again.
Gonna be trouble. Gonna be trouble.
It will be.
Now, wait. Question. This is absurd and off topic, but will y'all, as class of 2021 now?
Oh, now we're
2022. Yeah, as class of 2022, will y'all now be in Zoe and I's group?
I think we are.
We're all gonna be playing against Pete. There's no way they let it go down like that. There's no way they put me and Zoe and the 5 of y'all on a team.
Lammers and Yonda and
plus Lammers, Yonda, Robbie, like whoever else happens to show up. But like in terms of like the youngest, most capable players, just generally speaking at that stage, like to have 7 on one team and Pete and like Cam on the other, like that would be absolutely hilarious.
And Lee.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're not gonna have the numbers at all if we were super strict about the graduation year precedent. And so it'd just be our dog throwing alley-oops to Khan and he's just dunking on Pete. Whatever's gonna go down is gonna go down, and I'm gonna enjoy watching it.
I would love to see that happen. Alley-oop to Connor over
can't even picture like an animated version of that. Like it's just not even real. Okay,
Yeah.
what are we finishing off with here?
Well, I need to say my favorite spot to shoot, although I'm
Oh,
sure you
yeah.
guys all know exactly where. It's short corner, mid range.
Quarter, mid-range.
Yep.
Spice would win games single-handedly in open gym doing
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like, just like he'd hit 3 out of the 5 points just hitting that shot, and the game would be over before you could blink your eye.
My favorite Spice shot was when he came down to open gym from lab, like 30 minutes late. First time he touches the ball, he just pulls it.
Yeah. So I come in and I came in right as you guys were finishing a game. And so Jim's like, he's like, oh, do you need to warm up? And I'm like, no, I'm good. And so I just get subbed right in.
And then he just misses like 5 feet wide air ball.
The top of the 3. Yeah, I got like a trail of 3. And like I was shooting those at the time, but I just exactly what Ryan said. I was just stone cold. Just walked in the gym, literally just went down and back once. And just the hardest. I thought I broke the backboard. Like it literally hit so hard. So
I was
far
leaned
up.
up. Yeah, I remember seeing that shot. I was leaned up on the big yellow fan, cooling off, watching the game from the opposite corner. So like we had like a same POV as you, like almost third person, and so we could see like as soon as you shot it, how far off it was. Like, you know, it wasn't like we were surprised to see a break. Like sometime on TV, like you can't quite see the trajectory of the shot, and then like when it misses that bad, it surprises you. Like whoever I was sitting next to, it might have been Yonda, but like we could track how way off this shot was. Like as soon as it came out of your hands, and like it just kept getting worse and worse. Like, oh my God. Like, so I definitely remember that one as well. That's probably your best spot to shoot on the floor is cold hands, cold feet, top of the key.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But I prefer to shoot from the mid range because that's just where I make more shots. I remember like I think it was the year after, like poor Jules didn't know I shot that shot and got matched up on me. I remember hitting a lot in a row in one game on him.
Jules.
Shout out Julian.
Jules.
All right, last question. Favorite resource in Catan and expansion pack. I'm basically just gonna skip the expansion pack. I don't know why I thought it'd be different. Like we all love Seafarer's expansion.
Yeah. I mean, like, we got to give a little shout out to the Game of Thrones expansion pack because at the end of the day, like, our dog and our mutual love of Game of Thrones is the only reason that Catan has spread like a plague through this team. Like, because that was the reason I was like, I always was aware of Catan, but it looked like too much and it looked like something I wouldn't enjoy. It looked like, I don't know, like, it just had too much going on. It wouldn't be something I'd be interested in sitting through. And so our dog like shows up with his Christmas gift of, it was like 13 months ago or whatever, of Catan, Game of Thrones verse. Like, all right, like I like Game of Thrones. Like Spice says he kind of knows how to play, so I'll play with him.
I played like once, yeah.
And so it's like, all right, like this will work out. Like he basically, I remember you showed up in J Tower, like not in your part of the dorm at all, and just started setting the game up. Like you didn't even really recruit players necessarily. You just started like reading the rules and setting the game up. And then like people were like, oh, like interesting. Like I guess we'll play. It's Game of Thrones. And right off the bat, I was hooked. I don't think we didn't even do well the first game, but I bought it immediately.
Yeah.
We switched to the regular version, which was way better, and then we switched to Seafarers, which was even better. So that's favorite expansion pack. But shout out Game of Thrones version.
Yeah, that's where we started. You know, where it all started. You got a special place in our hearts.
Yep.
Even though it wasn't that fun, but you know.
Yeah, the wall was really just irrelevant.
Yeah, it was pretty much normal Catan, but
but with like weird Game of Thrones names sprinkled in awkward ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't we say the bandit was like Tormund?
Yeah, we gave them all.
It was weird because they framed like the story of the settlers of Catan as in the like geographical area that you're settling was like the gift. So it's strictly situated in the north, like the portion of land just south of the wall. So like there weren't like most of the characters that you would name if you were to pick 5 characters to name, like don't necessarily show up in the wall at all. So like it was a very like niche part of the show that they tried to make an entire board game about.
Yeah, there was like
Yeah.
Character
It
card.
wasn't that cool.
Yeah.
There was all these weird different kinds of wildlings that somehow didn't matter, but we had to constantly attend to.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Yeah.
who cares?
All right. So then that was the second part of that. Was the last question was what's your favorite resource in Catan?
Favorite resource. I'm a big believer in D cards, and I'm a big believer. I think getting the first cities is a big way to win. So I'm gonna say or. The other day it was actually kind of mind blowing. We were playing Catan. It was me and my mom and my dad were playing 1-on-1, and I was like getting butted out of all the spots. Like it just wasn't a good game for me. I didn't make good moves. I didn't make good rolls. So I just started buying D cards. And the first two that I had, like that I bought early, were both victory points somehow. It's like crazy. Like there's 5 in a deck and there's 40 cards in the deck. So I started with 2, and then I bought a knight, and then my third one was also a victory point. And then I bought 2 more, which were both knights. So through 6 cards, I ended up with 5 victory points, which anyone that's playing Catan is definitely raising eyebrows at whether or not I was stacking the deck. And I was just surprised. That's all. It was pretty electric.
Yeah. D cards can definitely win you the game.
It's a gamble. It's a big gamble.
Yeah. When I was playing with my sister, I got my sister hooked on it too. And then I was playing, it was me, her, and her boyfriend. And her boyfriend like didn't really get it. He was never really doing that. It was mostly just me versus my sister. But he would just go, when he would start like losing, he would just go all in on D cards. He's like, I'm gonna gamble and like trade in like 4 of something for whatever one resource he needed to get the D card.
Yeah. Sometimes it works.
It never worked for him, but it does sometimes work. And yeah, I would probably say I value similar things. I'm always irked at how scarce brick is, because I feel like brick is almost always very valued early and then hardly anyone has it.
Yeah.
But
that is an interesting thing about the like regular Catan version, is that there's only 3 brick hexagons. Like there's 4 of everything, but there's only 3 bricks and a desert, which I just think is strange. But
which is
I
why
would guess that sheep would be more sparse. But
right. Well, that's why Seafarers, I like Seafarers, because it makes sheep more relevant and then makes brick less relevant, because you can build with you just need wood for both those. All right, that was all the questions.
Cool.
Hot diggity dog.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
Guest right here.
Absolutely.
Is this the best episode so far?
It will be once I get it edited.
Thank you, R Dog. Your insight, as always, was
Of course.
excellent. We appreciate it a lot.
Thank you guys. Fun.
Give Abby a big hug.
I will. Thank you guys.
You're welcome anytime. See you around. And yeah, that's all we have for today. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Signing off.